What's up, folks, and welcome back to Dyce Reacts, where we are staying in Poland tonight. Oh yeah, we are going to be checking out things I will just never master in Poland. Vermasa checks one out. We ain't going to waste no more time. Just going to get right into it, folks. We're going to get right into it. Oh yeah.
Hello and welcome to Love My Poland. Today I am standing in my favorite park near the university where I taught for years and years, overlooking a frozen pond. And today I thought it would be a great time to talk about 5 things that here in Poland I will never master. There are things in this country that confuse me to the point that my brain just refuses to accept it and refuses to learn it. Let's get started today with the first one of the 5. The first one is spring break versus feria. My brain, I've been here many years, and every year my brain kicks into the when's spring break? When's it going to happen? What are we going to do when the sun's out? Well, guess what? Here in Poland, there is no spring break. It doesn't exist. We have something called feria, and feria is winter break. It is 2 weeks for college students, and I think a lot of students in primary school, high school. Really, it's a break in the semesters. It's a time to relax, time to kind of re-energize. A lot of people go down to the mountains, they go skiing, and if you're fortunate enough, you can go to warmer climates, go to Egypt, go to warm places, and spend your time that way. So winter break is about to happen here, and I'm really excited. My family's flying over from the USA to go down to Zakopane with us and spend some time, but you would think that after all these years, I would go into the year going, it's winter break, not spring break. But no, my brain refuses to go that route. So, feria, winter break in Poland, one day maybe I'll understand it. The second thing that really throws my brain for a loop is kissing on the cheek kissing, whatever you want to call it. The way you greet people by giving a kiss on the cheek. Alabama and Texas, you just don't see that. You don't see that in most states in America. You know, you might see celebrities do it or politicians. They want to look refined and elegant and posh. But a normal guy like me moving over here, I had to learn that, you know, and it was a head-on collision. I was watching a film recently, Borat, from years ago. You probably know the movie Borat. And there was an excellent kind of description of what it's like to get kissed in America. Take a look at this.
My name is Mike. I'm going to be your driving instructor. Welcome to our country, okay?
My name is Borat.
Okay, good. Well, I'm not used to that, but that's fine.
So I think that kind of describes it perfectly. If you don't know what you're doing, if you put that wrong cheek out there like I do, you kind of have some really awkward moments. Somebody might think you're really trying to kiss them on the lips. You have to do it right. I'm still working on it. Wish me luck. Okay. It's also a problem with getting these beardy kisses. You know, I like women. I have a wife. I don't like a nice, whiskery, beardy, scratchy kiss on my cheek. That's just really uncomfortable. And there's nothing worse than a saliva-filled kiss on my cheek as well. I'm phobic about that. So kissing on the cheek is something I struggle with. It's something I have to learn and hopefully one day also master. The third thing I'm probably never going to master is simply shaking hands. Shaking hands is huge here. It is part of the Polish culture. Ooh. You shake hands with everybody, but not always. What's confusing is that, okay, with guys, no problem. You're a man to man, you shake the hand. Every time you see them, you shake your hand. The first time you meet a person, you shake their hand. But depending on where you are, what region, within the city of Częstochowa, you've got the city people and you've got people from the countryside, it can differ. Not always is it recommended to shake a woman's hand. And then if you do shake the woman's hand, sometimes you have to wait for her to reach out that hand first and maybe not. There are rules. There are these unwritten rules about shaking hands with women that I'm still not clear about. Wow. I don't care. I don't know if it's about pride or whatever it is, but I'll just shake anybody's hand. I'm an American. I shake hands. Sometimes I start with the woman first, then I go to the man. Sometimes I go with the man first, then to the woman.
I mean, he's confusing me. He's saying one thing with the kiss on the cheeks. Now he's saying the handshake. It's either or. When it comes to a woman, you're not sure. She has to lead out first. Which is the more common way to greet a woman in Poland? Or which is the more polite way in terms of a gesture? I'm not just talking about like saying hi. I'm talking about actually having a physical interaction. Is it a handshake? Is it a kiss on the cheek? What is the most normal way to do it in Poland? Yeah, he's going back and forth. He's a little bit confusing me. At the same time, I'm learning something new, but I'm trying to figure out what is. It's either that way or that way. So I'm a bit confused.
but it is confusing. If somebody has a simple
Tell me
formula for this whole shaking the hands thing, I would love to see it in the comments section, so please write it out. But I think even that, you'll have debate among Polish people of what's the right thing to do. So shaking hands is a wonderful thing. It's a warm, friendly way to greet somebody, but you have to know the rules when it comes to shaking hands with women, and I'm still unclear on that. So let's hope in the future it gets better. And speaking of hands, you're going to see in Poland, I see it probably once or twice a month still, particularly with the older men in Poland, they will greet a woman with a kiss on the top of the hand. They'll just give her that kiss, and most of the time I ask women, do you like that? Is that comfortable for you? And they kind of give me a, But I think that from what I've heard in Poland, it's really dying out. Women don't particularly like that, but it is a sign of chivalry. It's a gentlemanly way of behaving here in Poland, and you still see that. So that's interesting. Something to be aware of if you ever come here. The fourth point is one that here in Poland, if you are going to live here for any extended period of time, this is one that you definitely have to keep in mind. It is how you line up or queue up to go to public offices or to the doctor's office. Now, things are getting better here. When you go into most public offices like City Hall, you have a ticket or you have kind of a receipt that prints out, and that's your number, and you go by that number. But it's still possible over all the years to find a situation where you have to go in and verbally, vocally announce your presence and make your presence known to find your place in that line. Let me give you a great example. And this is one really, it's not so much about mastering it as it is feeling comfortable in the situation. I still feel uncomfortable. So every month I spend thousands of zloty for public health care. I insure my family, my employees in my company, and you know, I'm going to use that public health care. I pay for it, I'm going to use it. And I go into the office, and let's say my appointment's at 12:30. I register, they say your appointment's at 12:30. There's 15 people in a very narrow corridor on one side in chairs, and 15 people on the other side sitting and waiting for their time to get to that doctor's office. It's not so simple. You don't just go in and say, I have the time of 12:30. You have to go in and say, Kto ostatni? Who's next? Or who's the last one? That person will raise their hand, I am. So you say in a very loud voice, okay, ja jestem następny, I'm the next one. And you have to make sure that everybody hears that, because if they don't, they can just assume they never heard it, they didn't see you, they're next. And it can be quite a battle sometimes. I've seen some arguments over the years going to the doctor's offices, so that's kind of uncomfortable. And you'll see that too in some public offices, especially the smaller commune offices here in Poland. So
I mean, it's something naturally you would expect. You're there for like an hour, 2 hours, and some guy comes from nowhere and says he's next. I mean, he's got to be pretty damn clear about it, or we're gonna have some problems there. Let's just keep it at that. We're gonna have some problems there, some real problems.
lining up and queuing up is not as simple as it seems. You have to be kind of well trained to get through that. The fifth and final one is not so much something that I can't master, but it's something I don't want to master. Coming over here, I could not believe in the term parter, zero floor. You enter a building, and here in Poland, and probably in other European countries too, and countries around the world, you have what's called the zero floor. The zero floor, and then the floor above that, which would be in America, the second floor, is your first floor, second floor, and so on. It's really confusing. It's a simple concept, but it's confusing as heck. My school is located on the third floor, American style, and many times I've given people directions to get to my school, and I tell them I'm on the third floor. After all these years, I keep doing it, but technically I'm on the second floor. So it's a little bit of a debate here. It's normal for everyone living here, but for me, I just still, after all these years, have difficulty with that. For me, it's obvious. Ground floor is the first floor, the floor after that is the second, and so on. But in Europe, 0, 1, 2, 3. I don't know. I guess I just have to accept it.
Yes, this was interesting. The hand gesture in terms of kissing the women on the hand, it's very chivalry. It just reminds me of those movies like kings and queens, people of royalty. You usually see them kiss like this on the hand, but I didn't know it was a tradition that was in Poland. It's very interesting to find out. You coming from especially a country where ground floor is just a normal thing, it's going to be so difficult to change, because there are certain things in my everyday life that I try to change, or I try to break the habit, especially when it comes to something that you see. You know what I mean? You say it so often for so many years, it's kind of difficult to not say a certain phrase or do a certain expression because it came so naturally, and to reverse that is difficult. You're gonna end up doing it, and you not gonna recognize that. Even if you try to make the change, it's gonna be difficult. It's probably never gonna go away. It's probably never gonna go away. One of the more interesting ones, because I like a lot of historical kind of conversations in watching certain things, and the kissing on the hand, it's something I want to look into. If you want to see that long journal archer that I do, hit me over on Dyce Reacts, where I do music reactions. This is where I'm going to be making my exit. Until next time, peace out.